Welcome to our journey through over a century of British leadership. Since 1900, the United Kingdom has seen a diverse array of prime ministers, each leaving a unique imprint on the nation's history. From the dawn of the 20th century through the trials of world wars, economic upheavals, and the transformative shifts of modern politics, each prime minister has steered the country through pivotal moments. In this video, we will explore the key policies, challenges, and legacies of the UK's prime ministers over the last 120 years. From the Victorian-era statesmanship of Lord Salisbury to the contemporary leadership of Rishi Sunak, these leaders have shaped the United Kingdom's path on the global stage and within its borders. Join us as we delve into the lives and times of these influential figures, uncovering how their decisions have moulded British society and left lasting impacts on the world. Whether through groundbreaking social reforms, wartime resilience, or navigating the complexities of modern governance, each Prime Minister's story is a vital chapter in the rich tapestry of British history. Let's begin our exploration of the Prime Ministers of the United Kingdom since 1900. Lord Salisbury, 1895-1902. Lord Salisbury, from the Conservative Party, was the last Prime Minister to serve from the House of Lords. During his tenure, he focused on maintaining the British Empire and managing international relations, particularly through the Boer War in South Africa. Arthur Balfour, 1902-1905. Arthur Balfour, a Conservative, succeeded Salisbury. He is known for the Education Act of 1902, which reorganised the education system and increased state funding for schools, and for his support of the Entente Cordiale with France, laying the groundwork for Britain's alliances in World War I. Henry Campbell Bannerman, 1905-1908. Henry Campbell Bannerman, leading the Liberal Party, is remembered for initiating social reforms and advocating for Home Rule in Ireland. His government laid the foundation for the welfare state with policies like the Trade Disputes Act of 1906. H. Asquith, in 1908-1916. H. Asquith's tenure was marked by significant social and constitutional reforms, including the introduction of the Old Age Pensions Act and the Parliament Act of 1911, which limited the power of the House of Lords. His leadership during the early years of World War I was crucial but controversial, leading to his eventual replacement. David Lloyd George, 1916-1922. David Lloyd George, a Liberal, steered Britain through the latter part of World War I and played a key role in the post-war settlement. His government introduced major social reforms, including housing and unemployment insurance, and he was a key figure at the Versailles Peace Conference. Andrew Bonar Law, 1922-1923. Andrew Bonar Law, a Conservative, served briefly due to ill health. He focused on stabilising the economy post-war and dealing with Irish independence issues. His resignation due to illness led to the rise of Stanley Baldwin. Stanley Baldwin, 1923-1924, 1924-1929, 1935-1937. Stanley Baldwin's multiple terms saw significant changes, including the general strike of 1926 and efforts to modernise British industry. His leadership was characterised by a focus on peace and economic stability during challenging interwar years. Ramsay MacDonald, 1924, 1929, 1935. Ramsay MacDonald, the first Labour Prime Minister, faced economic challenges including the Great Depression. His government expanded welfare programs and sought to address unemployment, but was criticised for austerity measures during his national government tenure. Neville Chamberlain, 1937-1940. Neville Chamberlain, a Conservative, is most famous for his policy of appeasement towards Nazi Germany, culminating in the Munich Agreement. His efforts to avoid war were controversial, and he resigned following the early failures of World War II. Winston Churchill, 1940-1945, 1951-1955. Winston Churchill led Britain through the dark days of World War II. His speeches and steadfast refusal to negotiate with Nazi Germany are legendary. In his second term, he focused on post-war recovery and maintaining Britain's global influence. Clement Attlee, 1945-1951. Clement Attlee, from the Labour Party, oversaw significant social reforms, including the establishment of the National Health Service, NHS, and the nationalisation of major industries. His government laid the foundation for the modern welfare state. Anthony Eden, 1955-1957. Anthony Eden, a Conservative, is best known for the Suez Crisis, which damaged his reputation and Britain's standing in the world. Despite his previous success as Foreign Secretary, the crisis led to his resignation. Harold Macmillan, 1957-1963. Harold Macmillan, also a Conservative, presided over a period of economic prosperity and decolonisation, famously stating that most of our people have never had it so good. His government continued the process of granting independence to British colonies in Africa and the Caribbean. Alec Douglas Home, 1963-1964. Alec Douglas Home, a Conservative, served briefly and is remembered for modernising the Conservative Party. He resigned following electoral defeat, marking a shift towards a more modern and electable leadership. Harold Wilson, 1964-1970, 1974-1976. Harold Wilson, from the Labour Party, introduced major social and economic reforms, including expanding higher education and modernising the economy. His second term focused on economic crises and dealing with industrial strife. Edward Heath, 1970-1974. Edward Heath, a Conservative, took the UK into the European Economic Community, EEC, in 1973. His tenure was marked by economic challenges and industrial disputes, including the three-day week imposed during a miners' strike. James Callaghan, 1976-1979. James Callaghan, a Labour leader, faced economic troubles and widespread industrial action, culminating in the Winter of Discontent in 1978-79. His government's struggles with inflation and unemployment contributed to Labour's electoral defeat. Margaret Thatcher, 1979-1990. Margaret Thatcher, the first female Prime Minister, led a Conservative revolution, emphasising deregulation, privatisation, and reducing the power of trade unions. Her leadership during the Falklands War and strong stance against the Soviet Union earned her the nickname the Iron Lady. John Major, 1990-1997. John Major, a Conservative, continued Thatcher's economic policies while facing challenges such as the Gulf War and divisions over Europe. His government introduced the Back to Basics campaign, aiming to return to traditional values. Tony Blair, 1997-2007. Tony Blair, from the Labour Party, modernised the party under New Labour and focused on social reforms, including significant investment in public services and the introduction of the minimum wage. His decision to support the Iraq War was highly controversial and remains debated. Gordon Brown, 2007-2010. Gordon Brown, Labour, is known for his handling of the global financial crisis of 2008, implementing measures to stabilise the banking sector and economy. His leadership was marked by efforts to navigate the UK through severe economic turbulence. David Cameron, 2010-2016. David Cameron, a Conservative, formed the first coalition government since World War II with the Liberal Democrats. He focused on austerity measures to reduce the national deficit and held the 2016 referendum on EU membership, which resulted in the decision to leave the EU, Brexit. Theresa May, 2016-2019. Theresa May, a Conservative, took on the challenging task of negotiating Brexit. Her tenure was dominated by efforts to secure a Brexit deal acceptable to Parliament and the EU, ultimately leading to her resignation over her inability to get her deal approved. Boris Johnson, 2019-2022. Boris Johnson, a Conservative, led the UK through the final stages of Brexit, securing a deal with the EU. His leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic saw extensive measures to curb the virus and support the economy. Controversies over his handling of the pandemic and party leadership led to his resignation. Liz Truss, 2022. Liz Truss, Conservative, served the shortest term in modern UK history, facing significant economic challenges. Her attempts to implement rapid economic reforms were met with market instability and political opposition, leading to her resignation after just 45 days. Rishi Sunak, 2022 present. Rishi Sunak, a Conservative, became Prime Minister in the aftermath of Liz Truss's resignation. Previously serving as Chancellor, he is known for his economic management during the COVID-19 crisis, including implementing furlough schemes and support for businesses. His premiership continues to focus on stabilising the economy and navigating post-Brexit challenges. As we conclude our journey through the corridors of power in the United Kingdom, it's clear that each Prime Minister since 1900 has played a crucial role in shaping the nation's destiny. From navigating through world wars and economic crises to ushering in social reforms and technological advancements, their leadership reflects the evolving challenges and aspirations of their times. This overview of British Prime Ministers offers a glimpse into the complexities of governance and the enduring impact of their decisions on both the UK and the wider world. Each leader, whether in times of peace or crisis, has contributed to the rich tapestry of British history, leaving a legacy that continues to influence current and future generations. As we reflect on these leaders, we see a narrative of resilience, adaptation, and progress. Their policies and personalities have helped to define not only their eras, but also the ongoing story of Britain's role on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the UK's Prime Ministers. We hope you've gained a deeper understanding of how these leaders have navigated the challenges of their times and left their mark on history. Stay tuned for more insights into the fascinating world of political leadership.